What's the best bourbon in every price range? Let's find out. What is going on, everybody? Nathan here with the Everyday Drinker, bringing you guys a brand new video. Today, we're going to go over my absolute favorite bourbons in every single price range. Now, those price ranges are 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, 70 to 80, 80 to 90, and finally 90 to 100, which was an absolute hard price category to pick because it's just a hard one, right? It's expensive. These bottles of bourbon just sometimes don't hit where they need to at that price range. But before we get into the bottles, I want to know what bottles are your favorite in every single price range. So let me know down in the comments. But also, make sure you smash that like button. Let's hit 200 likes for this video. And also, if you're brand new, we just hit 4,000 subscribers. At 5,000 subscribers, it's right around the corner, so make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Let me know that you are enjoying the content. Lets you know when brand new videos are uploaded every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But without further ado, let's get into bottle number one, which is the $10 to $20 bottle of bourbon. Bottle number one, it goes to Rebel 100. Rebel 100 is a wheated bourbon bottled at 100 proof. You just cannot go wrong with this bottle of bourbon. I've talked highly about it since I've gotten it and added it to the bar behind me, and every time I pour it for somebody, they absolutely love it. I know it's a hit or miss for a lot of you guys, but it's a hitter for me for that $18 range, and you just cannot go wrong, in my opinion, with Rebel 100 being a delicious pour for that $10 to $20 mark. Bottle number two is our $20 to $30 range, and that bottle goes to one of my absolute favorites, Old Granddad 114. Love the bottle, love the cork pop out of this bad boy, right? You just cannot go wrong with this Big Daddy cork out of this Old Granddad 114. Flavor punches you right in the mouth with everything that you do with this bottle. Sip it neat, sip it on the rocks, make a cocktail out of it. One of my absolute go-to bottles at right around that $26 range, 114 proof, got to be on the shelf. Next up, we're in our $30 to $40 range, and this is where, in my opinion, the bourbons start to be elevated, and it's where the bourbons are readily available for good bottles in these next couple of price ranges. But I found a new love for this bottle, and a lot of you are going to be surprised at this one, but a lot of you might not be, and that bottle goes to Russels Reserve 10-year. This is my go-to $30 to $40 bottle at the absolute moment. Could change, as many of you know. I hated this bottle. I have it in the back there. Not quite sure if you can see it. Still have remnants of that first bottle of Russels Reserve 10-year that I despised so much. But I was coerced into buying another bottle, and, well, I'll let you know that it is much better than the first experience I had, and it deserves a rightful place on this list. And for a $35 bottle, you just can't go wrong with the Russels Reserve 10-year coming in at 90 proof. It's a good mixer. It's a good bottle to introduce people to more aged and oakier styled bourbons, and it's a good one for just anything regarding bourbon, in my opinion, and that is why it sits at number 3 in that $30 to $40 mark. Next up, we have our $40 to $50 mark, and this is where you can start to elevate your bourbon experience, right? You can start to get barrel strength bottles, single barrels at this price point. And a lot of you know what this bottle is going to be for me. It's one of my absolute go-tos for this price point, for barrel strength, for single barrels. And, well, if you haven't guessed it already, let me just bring it out for you, because it might just be one of my absolute favorite bottles regarding these price points, and that bottle just goes to Blue Note Juke Joint Uncut Unfiltered Single Barrels. This one right here is an Adelphia's store pick out of Central Jersey. But as you can see behind me, we've got a bunch of these Blue Note Uncut Unfiltereds. Got one from Texas. We got SLB pick. We got another New Jersey pick. We also have the Las Notas back there. So Blue Note for a $45, sometimes now pushing $49 is a go-to barrel strength single barrel that I would always recommend. This one is 117.2 proof. Knowing that it's a single barrel, knowing that you find a store that fits your flavor profile, your palate, and enjoying their picks is one of my absolute favorite things. And the guys over at Adelphia's do a really good job at that. Next up, we are in the $50 to $60 price range. Now, this is where a lot of people cut their ties with spending anything more than this. And well, if you're going to spend this amount of money, this is the bottle that I will recommend to you to pick up as a must-have and one of my absolute favorites in this price range, and that bottle goes to Bardstown Origin Series Bottled and Bond Wheated Bourbon. 100 proof. This is an at least 6-year-old bottle of juice going in this, and it is, in my opinion, one of the greatest bottles in that price range. Just cannot go wrong with it. Bardstown is doing really good things. They have been for many years, starting to incorporate their own juice in a full bottle. This one right here is a staple, and I need a second bottle of it because I'm getting pretty darn low on it. And that right there is a reason why you need to spend a little bit more money on really good bourbon. Just right there on this black label, this Origin Series by Bardstown, the wheated, bottled, and bond. Delicious pour. Alrighty, we are in the $60 to $70 price range. And, well, this is a brand new bottle on the shelf. It's one that I just picked up. It's one that I've had many samples of because everybody just can't believe that I don't have this bottle on the shelf, but I have it on the shelf finally. And that bottle goes to Jay Bowman Single Barrel. This is a 100 proof single barrel bottle of juice that, well, if you don't know the story, you probably do, but if you don't, this is Buffalo Trace distillate, but it's coming out of Virginia because they source it. But what they don't tell you is that it doesn't change. They run it through another pot still, but it doesn't change the distillate whatsoever because the column still did all the work. They barrel it, they age it, they sell it as their own stuff, but this is 100% Buffalo Trace distillate that goes into this bottle by the Jay Bowman Distillery. And, well, I'll let you know right now, it is pretty darn good stuff for that $60 to $70 price range. Just cannot go wrong with this right here. All right, so we are in our $70 to $80 price range. And, well, this is a tough one for me to decide on, but I had to pick one. And for me, it's one that is changing, but changing for the better. And some people think it's changing for the worse. But for our $70 to $80 bottle of bourbon, it's going to go to one that is released 3 times a year. And that bottle is going to go to the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Now, for me, Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs are absolutely delicious. I love their flavor profiles. Everything that is this bottle right here is just fan-freaking-tastic. Age statements are starting to change on this bottle, as we all know. This is the this is the A123, so it was still at least 12 years old. The B523 is an 11-year, 5-month, at least that old in that bottle blend. But nonetheless, absolutely delicious pours for these Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs that you just can't go wrong with spending your money in that upper echelon of the price ranges. Next up, we have our $80 to $90 price range, and this is where 90% of the people in the bourbon world will 100% not spend their money. But if you do spend your money in this price range, this is a select few bottles that I will recommend. And, well, we just did a blind on the channel regarding Barrell bourbon products. And the bottle that won was this one right here. Barrell Bourbon. This is a private release from the Central Jersey Bourbon Society. And when I did this video regarding this private release, over on the Patreon, if you want to go check that out, we got a bunch of guys that are over there, really enjoy their bourbon. A bunch of guys posted their private releases or private releases in their area. And 90% of the bottles had a 15, 16, 17, or 18-year-old bourbon in that bottle that was at least 10% of that bottle. And for me, this bottle just had an insane mouthfeel, an insane flavor profile compared to everything else, mostly because of the beautiful blending job that Barrell does. But this one, nonetheless, Barrell's private releases, in my opinion, are go-tos for the $80 to $90 price range. And last but not least, we have $90 to $100. And this is a tough one. This was a very, very tough price category because a lot of these bottles are allocated. A lot of them are very hard to find, and they're difficult. And for me, it was difficult not to put an allocated bottle, but I had to put one because of how much I absolutely enjoy this bottle of bourbon. And well, it's been on the channel a couple of times on some of these lists of top fives, must-haves. And I know a lot of you will not be able to find this bottle, but some of you have this bottle. And there are rumors that a second batch is coming out. And this $90 to $100 bottle of bourbon goes to Penelope Rio. Penelope Rio is just one of my absolute fine night, delicious, delicious pours. And as you can see, it is getting low. And I'm a sad man when this is an empty bottle. I hope to find a second one. I hope they come out with a second one regarding the Rio. And well, for me, it's probably my favorite pour. And it's rounding out this $20 to $100 list that, you know, these are the bottles that I believe everybody should have on their shelves. Now, I know a lot of these, some of these, most of these, who knows, none of these might not be available in your state. But regarding being able to travel, go, possibly buy online and stuff like that, these are the bottles that I would recommend to have in each priced category. Let me know down in the comments if I did a good job or not. Make sure you hit that like and smash the subscribe. Until next time, this has been Nathan, the Everyday Drinker. Cheers.